Welcome back, fellow warriors, to the stage of history. My name is Cosmo Jazz, and today we are going to be talking about Haohmaru, also known as his legacy. Now, normally what I would do with this kind of series, if you've been following for a while and have seen the Soul Calibur legacy that I did, I would be playing the game and giving my reminiscence of when I played it when I was younger, maybe some tidbits and facts about it, and then let the gameplay show for itself as I was playing. But I've been recently watching some videos from History Behind the Warrior and the Sphere Hunter, aka Susie. And after watching their content, it made me realize that I might want to go a bit further into what this legacy would really be about, especially since it's Haohmaru coming from his game into Soul Calibur, which I love dearly. And I want people to know just how significant that kind of thing is when it comes to his development, his story, which you will learn that he wasn't always the main face, even though he is the face of the game itself, and as well as many other things you might not know about the character. So, without further ado, let's get into this, shall we? So, in order to get this thing started, I believe that we have to talk about the original Samurai Shodown before we can really delve into Haohmaru. Back in 1993, SNK had released Samurai Shodown, a game that was made by ex-Capcom employees and the producer of Yasui Adachi, also with a team known as Samurai Gummy, which apparently from my research wasn't really that well known. But one thing that has been known thanks to a Polygon article was that the original Samurai Shodown wasn't even supposed to be Samurai Shodown. It's supposed to be a monster game with the hero being Genan. Genan is actually a character in the roster of Samurai Shodown, but he's not the hero like he was supposed to be. When it came to this development, it was said that Adachi had looked at current trends within the, so we say, zeitgeist of things that were getting popular around that time. That being ninjas, samurais, and so on and so forth. Not longer really monsters and things like he had growing up. And even the funny thing about that whole monster idea was that if you go look back into any of the old SNK employees, from his understanding, a lot of people don't realize that the original idea was a monsters game to begin with. And these were really his own words. Now, when it came to the conclusion of having Haohmaru, you can almost debate saying that the ex-Capcom employee thing might be a bit on the nose if you look at the character's design. And when we say that, I mean, if you take away the sword and the kind of wild hair, I mean, he kind of resembles another favorite character you might know from a certain other game. But that is more speculation than anything from my research, so I'll just leave it at that. Now, getting on to Haohmaru himself. The creation of Haohmaru was basically inspired by another famous swordsman in history known as Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi was mainly known for a samurai who basically never lost. And as history has shown, that might have been proven the case. And the series producer Adachi would really like this for Haohmaru in order to show the game's mechanics to what it should be, being that he was a samurai with a huge strike that did massive damage. And here's another fun fact for you. Haohmaru's original name was not Haohmaru, it was Musashi. When it comes to Haohmaru's moveset, he has a fairly simple use of moves to his arsenal, but are very effective. Like his moves like the Kogetsu-san, a crescent-shaped uppercut, and the Sepputsu. That's a word. I'm just gonna put it up on the screen so you guys can know what it says and you can pronounce it yourself. But basically, it's his whirlwind attack, which basically lifts the opponent up into the air and then drops them down very heavily. He also has a sake jug that is representative of the mirror concept game system in these games, which we will touch on way later down the line, I promise. But other than that, this is really all you need to know for his beginning side as far as his moveset goes. And I can easily tell you that that's not going to change too much as the game goes along, because, as I would say with any other fighting game, it becomes apparent that there's always a review of the game and they never really change, because that's the character that you really want to show your game mechanics, so that if you want to really dive into anything deeper, you can with other characters, but you have a good basis to them. Now, let's get on to a little bit of his backstory since we're going into Samurai Shodown 1. That being said, there's a caveat I have to hit before we go into that. And it comes apparent that a lot of games, well, maybe not a lot of games, but very prominent ones have come to the conclusion that every once in a while you might want to go back to the past in a future game, even though the game is numbered higher than the game before it. For example, Mortal Kombat 9 goes back into the past to Mortal Kombat 1. Street Fighter 3 is in the future of both Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4. And there are many other consistencies with this as well with other fighting games. So really, it comes to the part that SNK was really no exception to this rule when it came to the Samurai Shodown franchise, which you will learn that there's literally a game fairly high in the number that is actually the true beginning of the lore of Samurai Shodown. But for this legacy, we're going to be starting with the games as they came out. I feel like it's easier that way, plus we can get into the development a lot easier that way as well when it comes to 2D versus 3D that we will be hitting later down the line. Now, back to his backstory as of Samurai Shodown 1. So, according to a bunch of information I have piled, at the age of 15, he challenged the series version of Jubei Yagyu, which is a character that you actually can see in the current Samurai Shodown that is out as of today. And he went to duel him but lost, and due to his lack of experience, he lost fairly badly. Now, Jubei was amused by this young lad's bravado and whatnot, so he introduced him to another one of his friends, a guy known as, I believe, Nicotine Caffeine. I'm hoping I'm saying that right too. You know, with the different pronunciations, it can be here or there. But he sent him to this person in order so that Haohmaru could get training and maybe challenge him again when he's fully ready. Now, while Haohmaru was training under this person, he had actually met a fellow orphan by the name of Genjiro. And they had formed a bond that seemed to be unbreakable at the time. But a fateful day would come between the two of them that would drift them apart basically forever. And that was the fact that their master, Nicotine, told them they would have to battle in order to get the secret of a scroll that he had that would show them the super techniques that he had in his arsenal. Now, during this battle, Genjiro had won, but he went a bit too far and almost ended up killing Haohmaru. And with that, Nicotine couldn't really see that Genjiro could really master these moves and use them wisely. So instead of giving Genjiro the scroll, he banished him in the hopes of making him a better person. And as you can probably guess, Genjiro was not happy about this, to the point that not only did he hate Nicotine, his master now, but inadvertently he hated Haohmaru as well for being so weak. And he should have been stronger and given him a better fight, etc., etc. You know how these rivals go. Now, when it came to Haohmaru's situation in this, he saw this as a way of kind of learning from it, that he has a long way to go, and he should use this situation to better himself and to become a better swordsman. And as he did this, he went to the theory that maybe instead of just staying around with nicotine, kind of practicing and everything like that, he would become a vagabond and travel the world in order to hone his skills against challengers in the name of I believe, god named Ashura. And with doing this, he ended up fighting so many different opponents from so many different worlds and so many different ways of life. But we first have to see this in Samurai Shodown 1, which we will start right now. Alright, we're here. That should be good enough. Alright, we are here. So, a little bit of backstory on this one before we start. This was an absolute pain to get started. Like, I'm not kidding you. It took me a good few minutes. A couple of days to really get this thing going. But we're good now. I will say that to preference some things about this game, I didn't start playing Samurai Shodown really until Samurai Shodown 3. And I would like to say that I started back in Samurai Shodown 2, but I was so young that I don't even remember what Samurai Shodown 2 was really even about. So I'm just going to say that I started off at 3. So I really don't have much knowledge of what I'm getting into as far as if it's stiff, if it feels great, etc. and so forth. I am using the Fightcade version, so it's going to be hopefully as good of an arcade kind of thing going as possible. I'm also using an Xbox controller because right now I can't get my PlayStation 4 controller to work. What the heck? No? Again, shall we? I don't know why it automatically picked him, but it's not what we're playing. We're playing Haohmaru. So, let's go ahead and get this started. I guess there's a timer somewhere I'm just not seeing. But like I said, I'm playing with the Fightcade version because this is the easiest one to obtain right now for me. Hopefully it'll give me that arcade experience. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. Jeez. Really? Jeez. Okay, this is how we're gonna start. Damn. Okay, jeez. It's hard to hit the AI. Jeez, you were way open for that. Fucking hell, dude. This is the first level. I'm already getting fucked. This is gonna be a long ride, isn't it? All right. I feel like it should be hitting him. There we go. This is surprisingly a lot harder than I expected it to be. Either that or I suck. So yeah, like I was saying, this is the first time I've ever played the first Samurai Shodown. Yikes. It did like no damage. Jeez. Holy crap. Fucking hell. Yeesh. Wow. This is ridiculously hard for a first round. Oh my god, why is every one of his attacks beat mine out? Fuck you, dude. Jeez. I can't imagine everybody else if he was this hard for the first round. Yeesh. So about that difficulty. Yeah. What is happening? What? I might as well sit here and do nothing. What hit me there? I just wanted you to know that we did the same move and mine lost through Clash. and I was stunned. 2 hits and I was stunned. He's not even... on! Come on! That's so stupid! Such a stupid move. So, post-edit Jazz here. When I was doing the final fight with Amaterasu, I didn't realize that it was very stormy out there in the time in Nashville, where the tornado you might have heard of hit and the power went out. So, yes, that means I had to do it all again. Well, what I ended up doing to circumvent this and maybe make it easier is I tried to do it on another emulator style thing, but it didn't make that much of a difference, really. This game is just made to be hard. So I had to grind all my way back to the final boss and finally defeat him. And we did it, but you're going to notice that things are a lot more closer in. You're going to notice that things may not look as great as they were before. And I'm sorry for that, but I promise this won't be happening again. It's just bad timing, and it's also the reason I kind of had to take so long for this episode to come out. So, please enjoy the rest of it, and have a great day. Second round. For the love of all things holy, please let this be it. Skip. Skip. Come on. One more hit, come on. Come on. Will it let me win? Fuck yes! Oh. Oh no. So, if you know anything about fighting game endings, you're probably aware of the possible problem that what you just saw might not be the canon ending. So, is it the canon ending? Well, to an extent, yes. You see, during this whole time of the attack against Amaterasu, a lot of warriors tried to go and take the orb from him. But it seemed as though only Haohmaru and Nakaruru were the only ones that were able to truly reach him. And Haohmaru was actually the one to take him down. So, what you saw, technically, was canon, minus the little Easter egg happening there, because let's be honest here, that was Mai, and she definitely wasn't a part of that time. As far as Haohmaru goes, he just went to do basically what Haohmaru does best. Become the vagabond he is and search for worthy opponents to become stronger. Little did he know, however, that his story would be turning to a much different thing than he probably expected it to be. But that is for the next episode. Till then, this is Cosmo Jazz. I hope you have a great day. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And as always, ask yourself this one question. Does your soul still burn? Bye, guys.
Ling Sensu Bo, that's the weapon I'm reppin'. I said Ling Sensu Bo, that's the weapon I'm reppin'. I said Ling Sensu Bo, then you best get to steppin' before you get smacked around by my immaculate weapon. Ling Sensu Bo, that's the weapon I'm reppin'. I said Ling Sensu Bo, that's the weapon I'm reppin'. I said Ling Sensu Bo, then you best get to steppin' before you get smacked around by my immaculate weapon.